Okay, so today's elective maths class, we'll be continuing with our calculus. Okay, so the last time we learned about limits, so this time we'll be learning about derivative from the first principle. Okay, from the first principle, and we'll be using our limits to solve questions on this. So if you didn't understand the limit well, you have to go back and study it well. Okay, and you have any problem, you have to contact me so I can know how to help you out. Okay, so the formula for derivation from the first principle was, you can write dy over dx, okay, or f prime of x equals, so this is the formula, lim as h approaches 0, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, this is the formula for it. The formula is fixed, so you have to input what you have to do and get the answer for. So for example, this is all that it means. For example, when a question is given, so the question is given like, if f of x, okay, equals 5x, find the derivative from the first principle. Okay, so this is what we mean. For the first part, which is this one, okay, this one, f of x plus h, what it means is, wherever you come here, when you come here, wherever you see x, replace it with x plus h. So I will separate it one by one. Okay, so the first part, let's take f of x plus h. So f of x plus h will be 5 times, so this is the 5, so I have to write x, but according to the formula I have to write x plus h in terms of x. Okay, so I write x plus h. Wherever I see x, I should write x plus h. Okay, so first I saw 5, I wrote the 5, then I wrote x. Because I wrote x, I had to write s plus h. Okay, so there's it. So I can go on further and expand this to get 5x plus 5h. Okay, then the second thing is, the second part, this is the first part and we are done with it. So the second part also is minus f of x. Okay, so what is f of x? So f of x was given in the question to be 5x. Okay, so this is f of x and this is f of x plus a. So let's just go and fix them into the formula. Okay, so lim as h approaches 0, then I have to write f of s plus h. So I know f of s plus h here is 5x plus 5h. So I write my 5x plus 5h. Okay, then I go. So I'm done with this part. So let me go to this part. So minus f of x. What is f of x? F of x is 5x. Okay, I prefer you bring the brackets, because the negative will be affecting everything in this bracket. So I prefer you bring the brackets in case the terms are two, you don't give the negative sign to only one of them. Okay, so then the formula says we should divide through by h. Okay, so now it becomes something like this: lim as h approaches 0, 5x plus 5h minus 5x all over h. Now The reason why we are not putting 0 inside this from the beginning, okay, the reason why we are not putting 0 inside this from the beginning is that if we put 0 here, the function will become undefined, okay. When we put 0 here, the function will become undefined because every number over 0 is mass 0, it's undefined, okay. So we can't put 0 in directly unless we have simplified the expression first, okay. So now from here, we can say negative 5x will cancel 5x, okay. So you'll be left with lim as h approaches 0, 5h over h, okay. So now h2 can cancel h, okay. Then I get my answer to be 5 because there's no h for me to put this 0 there, okay. So my answer becomes 5. So that is the derivative from the first principle. Now let me show you the shortcut so that you can quickly know whether your answer is right or wrong. Okay, so the shortcut is, when you're given a question like f of x equals 5x, okay, then you are told to differentiate it from the first principle. You can use the normal derivative, which is the power rule, to do it, to check whether your answer is correct. So this is to the power 1, okay. So what you have to do is multiply this one to the coefficient of x, okay. Then after that, subtract 1 from it, okay. So when I multiply 1 to 5, I'll get my 5, okay. Then my x will be there, all right. Then the 1 there, I'll subtract another 1 from it, so I'll be getting 5 to the power 0, x, 5 times x to the power 0. Then x to the power 0 is 1. Every number to the power 0 is 1, so it will be 5 times 1, which will be 5, okay. So I can use this to determine whether my answer is right or wrong. Okay, so let's move on to another question. Right. Okay, so let's take another question. We are finding the derivative of s squared. F of x equals s squared, okay. So we are finding the derivative of this from the first principle. So we first write our formula, which is lim as h approaches 0. Then we bring f of x plus h minus f of x all over h, okay. So now, what will be our f of x plus h? Let's see. Our f of x plus h will be, now I come here, I see x squared, so I'll write s plus h squared, because wherever I see x must be x plus h. So I see x here, so I have to write x plus h all squared. Just have to substitute. So let me expand this. So expanding this will give me s squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Okay, you can try, when you're expanding something like this, you can try using the Pascal's triangle, okay. Or there is a shortcut there, but the shortcut is only for s squared. The shortcut is only for s squared, okay. So this is how we do it. For the first one, you give the power to x, so you get s squared. Then you multiply 2 by x and h, so I get plus 2xh, okay. Then I give the power to h, so h squared. You can try expanding it in the long way, like writing x plus h plus h